Greetings once again, Sonic Heroes, and welcome to Sonic the Hedgehog Spring Broken. The previous special was the Winter Jam, where, acting on their own, Orbot and Cubot had entrapped Sonic and some of his friends in a winter-themed series of events that got a little too out of hand. These seasonal specials usually end up being pretty fun, and usually not written by Ian Flynn or most of the usual writing cast. They end up usually being special one-offs by one-time appearances or people who have written backup stories or stuff like that. So I'm interested to see yet another interesting perspective on the world of Sonic. So join me, won't you? Alright, it's a Sonic the Hedgehog one-shot. Spring Broken. And at first I was kind of wondering what I was seeing here. And then I'm like, oh, it's a flower they're all on top of. Weird. And then I'm like, how is that watering can up there? Jewel is sitting on there. And then you have Rough and Tumble hanging off of it. And then I notice Silver's gigantic hand. And I realize, oh god, it's Honey, I Shrunk the Hedgehog. But a nice cover nonetheless. Looks like it was done by our boy Adam Bryce Thomas. Ooh, the art's gonna be really good here. Story by Josh Trujillo, who, as far as I can tell, this is the only thing they've written for the Sonic books, or at least the IDW Sonic book. So we'll see how that goes. By art by Adam Bryce Thomas, so got some A+ artwork coming in. Colors by Leonardo Ito, who's pretty good when it comes to the colors. Letters Sean Lee. Associate editor Bixie Matthew. Oh, that's a new name. Editor David Marriott and Thea Chook. Oh, okay. And production Johanna Natali. Interesting. Alright, let's jump in and check this out. And already, great artwork by Adam Bryce Thomas. Colors, not going as hard as I'm used to, but it's not bad. It's a spring flower festival? Interesting. In the background, we see Cream and Vanilla, and Sonic and Tails are entering the festival, with Tails excitedly saying, I can't believe it's time for the spring festival again. Sonic says, I can, Tails. You haven't stopped talking about it for weeks. Boy likes his spring. I also love Adam Bryce Thomas's background characters. One kind of looks like Uncle Chuck. That's Tails tells Sonic excitedly, what should we do first, a game? A roller coaster? What do you think? Sonic looks over at some Mobians getting some lunch, saying, I'm thinking about lunch, but we should probably wait for chili dogs until after the old roller coaster, right? Oh, we see Big walking around in the background too. As Sonic points out, it seems like everybody's here today. Tails says, Sonic questions, huh? And Tails, chowing down on some cotton candy, says, is there an annual flower festival? Sonic tells him, whoa, chew and swallow, Tails, chew and swallow. Tails does just that and then points out, of course everyone is here. It's the biggest day of the festival. Sonic questions, it is? Tails motions to the stage saying, it's the annual floric competition. And Sonic says that, See, he had the same reaction I did. And then sudden Amy Rose jump scare as she's already standing next to Sonic. Yeah, she has a built-in Sonic radar. As Amy says, the Flower Floric is the most high-stakes event in gardening. Sonic says, Amy, you're in on this too? Amy says, last year the most gorgeous sunflower ended up winning. The acute petals were all anyone could talk about. We take this competition very seriously. I love her enthusiasm. And then she spots Silver and goes over to him. Yeah, Silver's had a bit of a green thumb ever since he decided to kind of hang around in this timeline. Amy goes over and says, hey, good luck, Silver. I know how hard you worked on this. Silver bashfully says, thanks, Amy. I just like a challenge. I don't even care about the prize, but it would be nice to get recognized for my work, you know? Suddenly some unsavory figures enters as Sonic, Silver, and Amy grimace a bit. As Amy says, looking around, I'd say you have a good shot at winning. Enter Rough and Tumble with their own flowers. Rough saying, I heard that, but don't worry. We're not gonna grumble. With Tumble saying, floral victory will soon be ours. The thorny Rough and Tumble. I gotta admit, this is the kind of low-stakes situation they would be in on. Sonic smiles saying, looks like you got some tough competition, Amy. Amy brushes us off saying, who, me? I'm not in the competition. Knight and I are the judges. He's going to broadcast the competition on his radio station, KTBR. I swear, Knight has been appearing so much lately. He had to be approved by Sega, right? Yeah, named characters usually have to be approved by Sega to some degree. It's just weird because they've been using him a lot more lately, and it's taking me a bit off guard. And he's a good character though, especially when you have, events that need to be big, but not too big, And it's a good way of having people know about Sonic's exploit, or just the general goings-on of the world of Sonic. Oh, enter Espio and Jewel. I mean, I know a lot of these characters were on the cover, but it's just kind of interesting seeing how they pop into the story. Sonic calls over to Jewel and Espio, and they greet him in kind. I gotta say, Jewel's plant is actually kind of interesting because it looks more like a gem than anything else. Tails goes over to Jewel saying, "Jewel, you're competing too? Aren't you more of a geologist?" Jewel gives a cheeky smile saying, "Yep, but that's the whole point. The winner of the competition wins that stone up there. It would be the perfect thing to put in the Mineral Museum." And we see Dawn hauling out on a floating cart. Interesting. Always gotta remember the weird futuristic technology in Sonic's world. But it's a pretty hefty looking geode. Yeah, it's pretty nice. And as things get started and Sonic, naturally having to stand still, yawns in the crowd, Knight hefts Amy up on his shoulder, which is actually adorable. And Knight takes to the mic saying, "Coming at you live from the fairgrounds. We're here to judge this year's Floric competition. Who will be crowned the winner, Amy?" And Amy calls out, "Keep listening to find out who rose to the occasion. Now let's get this Floric started." I do like Amy being in on certain events and the goings on. Her character has become more of a community leader to a certain degree, but not a permanent leader, just someone who's always going for the next thing. The duo announce the contestants. Amy announces Espio, saying, "First up, we have Espio. Just beautiful. I didn't know you had such a green thumb." "Yeah, me neither." Knight says, "Not to be outdone, we have Jewel's prize flower. Stunning." And then when it comes to rough and tumble, Amy's less than enthusiastic, saying, "Look, it's rough. Oh, how creative. Tumble and, nice try." Although Tails is jazzed while Sonic's still yawning, Tails says, "Silver's been practicing his gardening a lot lately. He's got this." And Amy gets all jazzed, saying, "And finally we have Silver. Let's see what he's been working on all year." Oh my god, what? And Silver's plant is on fire. And nobody knows until Tails yells, "It's on fire!" I love the reaction. Everyone's eyes just bug out like, what? And Knight just leans in and is like, "What?" And he's, "Oh my gosh." Tails calls out, "The flower." And Sonic says in a questioning way, but also seems to already be like, "Yeah, I know who did this," saying, "Who did this?" And of course, Tumble is just laughing. Although, who knows, maybe he's innocent. Silver goes over to where a fire extinguisher is, saying, "Don't worry, maybe I can fix this. All it takes is some psychic firefighting." And he uses the extinguisher on his plant. Yeah, the damage is done. It's nothing but a smoldering mess. Sonic races over to Silver, saying, "It's okay, buddy. There's always next year." And as Sonic races back over to Tails, Tails questions, "Something doesn't add up here. Flowers just don't spontaneously combust. Seems like this is turning into be a... Don't you mean turning out to be? Turning into be a real..." And Vector interjects, "Mystery!" God, the reaction shots in this. Tails freaks out a little bit, saying, "Vector!" And Vector leans in with a pencil and paper, saying, "The Chaotics are on the case, minus Charmy, and minus Espio. He's a suspect." I swear, Vector's a little too into this as he says, "Who knows? If I find the culprit, maybe I'll get to cut a radio prober for the Chaotics Detective Agency." Of course there's an angle. Though Tails gets jazzed, saying, "Count me in too. Silver needs our help." Channeling his side we got to see in Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. Tails and Vector shake hands as Tails says, "We'll solve this crime by dinner time." Nice alliteration. Vector says, "Yeah!" And Sonic just gives a thumbs up in the background saying, count me in 3. It's my book, so I have to be involved. Tails questions, now where should we look? And man, Tails complete with magnifying glass like Sherlock and Watson. Although who's who? We have Exhibit A, the burnt flower, and Exhibit B, a lit match. Where's Surge? As the two investigate, Tails says, we're still not done scurrying the scene for clues. As they examine the plant, Vector says, but when we are, then we ask the tough question, like what do you know about Silver's flower? Espio says, I only play fair. Ruff says, better luck next time, I guess. Sonic says, huh? Me? Dawn nervously says, it's true that I had a box of matches in my toolbox, but somehow they disappeared. And then Silver freaks out saying, fine, it was me. I sabotaged my own flowers. My flower died right after I got here. I thought it might be infected, so I decided to take care of it right away so no one else got hurt. I pretended not to know so I could find the culprit, but I'm sorry, everyone. What an extreme measure. Oh, I guess it tells of the time frame he comes from. Burn the infected away. Vector says, case closed, right? But as Vector begins to walk away, Tails still is ready to investigate. He walks back and forth saying, I don't know, something smells fishy here. What would make a flower to just up and die? What would make a flower to just up and die? Again, another weird bit of grammar. Is it me? Vector then notices something on the ground saying, I think I have an idea. That soil isn't soil at all. It's herbicide. It's like saying homicide, but herbicide. Silver investigates too, saying, so the soil was plant killer and my flowers weren't infected at all? I noticed someone added fresh soil to my pot, but I thought it was just normal old dirt. Tails adds, the culprit must have added the herbicide to your plant right after you got here. Vector questions, but who? They then notice a figure moving away from the herbicide. Vector points saying, wait, someone's trying to slip away. Sonic gets ready to race in saying, finally, some action. I got him, but Vector yells, not if I get him first. But even at a light trot, Vector can't really catch up to Sonic, who says, we'll see about that. Wait, is that Charmy? Oh my goodness. Tails says, okay, this should be easy. And Sonic says, Tails, there's just one little problem. Where did they go? And Sonic sees nothing but a crowd of people enjoying the stalls, but on one stall in particular, a very familiar looking shadow is hiding on the roof of a stall. Sonic says they could be anywhere or anyone. Maybe not this kid, but anyone else. He says, pointing to a small child. Tails says, okay, let's do this. Vector says, be ready for anything. Sonic tells him, I'm always ready. But then suddenly Big is there with an ice cream on his head dripping down. Vector turns to him saying, whoa, Big, what's the haps? As Vector pulls out bubblegum? Yeah, I guess he would pull out bubblegum. Big tells him, I was looking for Froggy, but someone pushed their way through the festival. They knocked over everything in their way, but at least I got some ice cream. Oh, that wasn't his ice cream. Whoever did this damaged the carousel, crashed into the dunk tank, and knocked over everyone's snacks. I wish Froggy were here to eat this ice cream with me. Jeez, they went on a friggin' tear. Tails ponders this, saying, that's too bad, Big. If only I had brought my pad so I could pick up more clues. And even if we catch the culprit, the festival grounds will still be in bad shape. Sonic says, don't worry, buddy. We'll figure this out. Vector chimes in saying, yeah, we just need to be smart about it. Tails says, divide and conquer. Vector says, an excellent plan. And as they race off, Sonic says, let's do it. No, what you mean to say is let's do it to it. Come on. Stay on brand, Sonic. Haha, Sonic, speed janitor. As he grabs the janitor's broom saying, okay, I'll clean up the mess all over the fairgrounds. And he gets to sweeping. Tails helps with the carousel, helping to fix the wiring. Or the operator saying just a couple more tweaks and that should do it. While Vector heads over to the dunk tank saying, and my bubblegum will keep that dunk tank sealed for a good long time. Vector, what kind of bubblegum are you chewing there, man? Meanwhile, as the unknown figure races through the crowd, someone calls out, wait, there they are. Sonic says, on it. Sonic points saying, hold it right there. Only for a small child to walk up to him saying, Mr. Sonic? Sonic says, huh? She says, my balloon popped, as I guess her mother or whoever comes racing over. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. But Sonic tells her, Don't worry, I'll get you a new one, lightning quick. Tails flies above the crowd saying, maybe I can get a better vantage point from up here. Who could be so elusive, so quick? Meanwhile, Sonic has done just that for the little girl saying, a new balloon, as promised. The girl says, thank you, Mr. Sonic. What a weird way of keeping him out of the action. But Tails then says, you? Spotting the culprit. Charmy? Vector heads over saying, wait, you're the plant killer? But Charmy, this isn't like you at all. Charmy says, I didn't mean it, Vector, I promise. I was trying to help. Silver's flowers need more soil. And as Sonic races over, Charmy explains, I didn't know it was plant killer. Sonic questions, then why did you run away? Charmy hangs his head low saying, I thought I could help. But then everyone chased after me. Don't be mad at me. Mistakes. As everyone heads back to the stage, everyone's sitting with Charmy as Tails says Charmy's mistake was innocent, but something about this still doesn't feel like an accident. Vector says, yeah, I did notice something strange with the labels earlier. I bet someone switched them up on purpose. As Sonic investigates, he sees that, yep, it's a fake label on the herbicide. He grabs it going, ew, the labels on these bags are sticky. As the label comes off on Sonic's hand, Tails questions, sticky? Of course, that's it. Vector says someone switched the labels, so whoever did this, Tails adds, has sticky hands. Knight's hands, clean. Nope. Tumble's hands, clean here. Amy's hands, nothing. Espio? Nada. Don? No luck. But Ruff? He's got some grimy mitts. Ruff's not even trying to hide that he did it as he has the biggest grin on his face. Tails says, Ruff, spoiling a flower competition? Vector adds, it's nothing sacred. And Sonic kind of needs a moment saying, okay, this one is less of a surprise than Charmy. So Ruff switched up the plant killer and the soil on purpose. Tails adds, then Charmy put the plant killer on Silver's flower by mistake. Vector then chimes in saying, and thinking his plant might get the other sick, Silver set fire to his flower. But why did Ruff do this in the first place? Ruff said, because I wanted that big gem for myself, and I would have sabotaged everyone. Only that dumb flower caught fire before I had the chance. It was the perfect crime, too. Vector asks, what do you have to say for yourself? And Ruff just shrugs, saying, I'll get away with it next time. And he goes just tiptoeing off, with Tails saying he's so rude, and Vector says yeah, but Sonic cuts him off at the pass saying no way. Amy gets a little huffy saying, how is Ruff going to make up for what he did? He almost ruined the flower floric. Knight says, agreed. Amy snaps with a realization saying, Silver takes such pride in his work and now it's all gone. I got it. Ruff turns saying, wait, what are you two planning? And next thing you know, Ruff's in the dunk tank saying, okay, I'll take a dunk, but just one. And who should get the first toss? Silver. And with psychic powers, his aim couldn't be better. Ruff takes a dunk and Silver says, we are even now. What a silly little moment. Sonic says, what a dunk. Tails says, that'll cool Ruff down. And as Ruff dries himself off with a towel, Knight says, now that that's settled, it's time for the main event. And with the rest of the people assembled, including Silver with his burnt flower, Amy says, the winner of the competition. Knight adds, and this year's champion, the phenom of the flower floric, the gardener with the green thumb. And I love how Tumble is so nervous and Silver's trying to calm him down. And the wink that Vector and Tails give each other is adorable. The gardener with the green thumb. The winner of this year's event is none other than Espio. Amy announces, saying, great job, my friend. 3 cheers for Espio. You did a beautiful job this year. And she hands over the medal to Espio. And Espio says, thank you, Amy. But I'm not the only one winning this year. I decided to donate my mineral prize to the museum. Really? A donation? When the Chaotix are in debt? Truly a hero. And as Amy takes Espio's picture with the geode, everyone gives a hooray! Meanwhile, Tails and Vector shake hands, with Tails saying, well done, old chum. Vector saying, mission accomplished. Like Batman and Robin from the Adam West series. Tails then says, now what should we do? Maybe go on a carnival ride or two? Sonic says, I have a better idea, Tails. Tails questions, what's that? Sonic says, we go on all the carnival rides. Then we grab some chili dogs, then some ice cream, and then who knows, it's still early, to head off for some food. We see Vector, Espio, much to the chagrin of the carny, managing to win a balloon popping competition, winning an inflatable or a plush diamond, and I think he hands it over to Jewel? Are we trying to ship Jewel and Espio? Silver riding on a roller coaster, Big doing the fishing game, although he's doing it with his fishing rod instead of the fish goop he's supposed to use. And as Sonic and Tails chow down on some carnival food, Sonic says, "We're gonna remember this spring festival forever." I'm realizing Blaze wasn't in this despite being on the cover, and she was the only one. He might as well have replaced her with Night or Dawn or something. But regardless, it was a fun time. Not my all-time favorite, but I've learned to kind of temper my expectations with these one-offs, because that's mostly what they are, just one-offs. Not saying that's a bad thing, just saying that I'm not expecting the most groundbreaking of storylines when it comes to these. Although the Winter Jam was pretty fun. And honestly, it usually tends to be the comedic elements that really kind of sell these stories. Get someone with some really good art behind it, and you could have a pretty good time. And with Adam Bryce Thomas, despite it not being like a mind-blowing story, it was still a visual work of art. The whodunit story was pretty interesting with its little twists, and I had a decent enough time. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What did you think of this story? What could it have done better? Or did you like it as is? I want to hear from you. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride, and I hope to see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.